Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Imagine building an entire life from nothing, fighting through heartbreak, betrayal, and loneliness, only to suddenly come face to face with the very people who once shattered you, in the most unexpected place, at the most unexpected time. Today's story is about love, loss, regret, and a reunion that no one saw coming. The airport was alive with its usual chaos, rolling suitcases, hurried footsteps, flight announcements echoing through the halls. Among the crowd stood a woman who seemed untouched by the noise around her. Dressed in an elegant tailored coat, her posture straight, her expression calm but distant, she carried an aura of power that turned heads without her even trying. People whispered as she passed. Some recognized her from magazines, others from business headlines. She was one of the youngest self-made billionaires in the country, but no one knew the story behind her silence. Her name was Elena. Elena wasn't always this untouchable figure. 6 years ago, she was just a woman in love, a wife, and a mother of 2 beautiful twin girls. Back then, her life wasn't filled with luxury jets or high-rise offices. It was filled with laughter, bedtime stories, and the simple warmth of a family she believed would last forever, until the day everything fell apart. It happened so quickly. A series of misunderstandings, accusations, and a betrayal that cut deeper than anything she had ever experienced. Her husband, the man she trusted with her heart, had walked away. But he didn't leave alone. He took their daughters with him. Elena had begged, cried, tried to explain, but the damage was already done. The court ruled against her. The custody battle was brutal, and in the end, she lost not just her marriage, but her children too. That day, something inside her broke, and then, she disappeared. For years, no one knew where she went. Rumors spread, some said she moved abroad, others believed she had given up on life entirely. But the truth was far different. Elena rebuilt herself, from the ground up. She worked tirelessly, pouring her pain into ambition. Every sleepless night became a stepping stone. Every tear turned into determination. Slowly, she began to rise. A small startup turned into a booming company. One success led to another, and before long, Elena became a force the business world couldn't ignore. But even with all her success, there was one thing she never replaced: her daughters. Not a single day passed without her thinking about them. She kept their old photos locked away, afraid that looking at them too long would reopen wounds she struggled so hard to close. And now, 6 years later, fate had brought her here. Elena adjusted her sunglasses as she stood near the departure gate, waiting for her private flight. Her assistant was speaking beside her, going over schedules, meetings, and upcoming deals. But Elena wasn't listening, because something, or someone, had caught her attention. At first, it was just a glance at a familiar silhouette in the distance. A man standing near the seating area, holding 2 small suitcases. Elena's heart skipped. No, it couldn't be. But then he turned slightly, and time stopped. It was him, her ex-husband, the man she hadn't seen in 6 years. Her breath caught in her throat. For a moment, the world around her faded. The noise, the announcements, the crowd, everything disappeared, and then, she saw them point. 2 young girls standing beside him, identical, beautiful, her daughters. They were older now, taller, but there was no mistaking them. The same eyes. The same smile. Elena froze, her body refused to move. Her mind raced with 1,000 emotions all at once: shock, disbelief, anger, and something deeper, love. She hadn't prepared for this moment. She had imagined it 1,000 times, in 1,000 different ways. But never like this, not here, not now. Her assistant noticed the sudden silence. "Ma'am? Are you all right?" But Elena didn't respond. She couldn't, because one of the girls had just looked up, and their eyes met. It was like looking into a mirror of the past. The girl frowned slightly, as if trying to recognize something, or someone. There was a flicker of curiosity in her eyes. And then she whispered something to her sister. Both of them turned, and stared. Elena felt her heart pounding so loudly she was sure everyone around her could hear it. Did they remember her? Did they even know who she was? Before she could think further, her ex-husband followed their gaze, and saw her. The color drained from his face. For a long moment, neither of them moved. 6 years of silence, of pain, of unanswered questions, all compressed into a single, heavy stare. Elena could see it in his eyes, shock, guilt, maybe even regret, but she didn't know what to feel. Anger burned inside her. This was the man who took everything from her. The man who never gave her a chance to explain. The man who raised her daughters without her, and yet, seeing him now, he looked different, older, tired, not the confident man she once knew. Life hadn't been kind to him either. The silence between them stretched. Then, one of the girls tugged on his sleeve. "Dad, who is she?" The question cut through Elena like a blade. Dad, they called him Dad, so naturally. Of course they did, but hearing it out loud, after 6 years of absence, it hurt more than she expected. Her ex-husband hesitated. He opened his mouth, then closed it again. How do you explain something like this? How do you tell your children that the woman standing across from them is their mother? Elena felt a tear threaten to escape, but she quickly blinked it away. She had spent years building a life where she never showed weakness. Not now. Not here. But her hands, they trembled. Finally, he spoke. His voice was quiet, uncertain. "She's someone we used to know." Elena's heart sank. Someone we used to know. That's all she was now, a stranger. The girls nodded slowly, though confusion still lingered on their faces. Elena couldn't take it anymore. Something inside her broke free. She took a step forward, then another. Her heels echoed softly against the polished floor as she walked toward them. Each step felt heavier than the last, as if she were carrying the weight of 6 lost years. Her ex-husband straightened, clearly unsure of what to do. "Elena," he said, her name barely above a whisper. Hearing her name from his lips after so long, it stirred something deep within her. She stopped just a few feet away, close enough to see every detail. Her daughters, her little girls. No, not little anymore. They looked at her with curiosity, maybe even a hint of recognition. Elena knelt down slowly, bringing herself to their level. Her voice trembled slightly, despite her effort to stay composed. "Hi." The girls exchanged a glance. "Hi," one of them replied. There was a pause. A moment where everything hung in the balance. Elena's eyes softened as she looked at them, memorizing every feature, every expression. "I've missed you," she said quietly. The girls frowned slightly, confused. Her ex-husband stepped forward, his expression conflicted. "Elena, maybe this isn't the place." But she cut him off, her voice steady now. "No. 6 years wasn't the place either." The tension thickened. People around them began to notice, whispering, sensing the emotional weight of the moment. The girls looked between them, trying to understand what's going on. One asked. Elena took a deep breath. This was it, the moment she had feared and longed for all these years. She looked directly into their eyes. Her voice cracked slightly, but she pushed through. "I'm your mother." Silence, pure, heavy silence. The words seemed to hang in the air, refusing to settle. The girls froze. Their expressions shifted from confusion to shock. "What?" one whispered. Their father closed his eyes briefly, as if bracing for impact. Elena felt her heart shatter all over again as she watched their reaction. This wasn't how she imagined it. Not confusion, not disbelief, but then, something unexpected happened. One of the girls stepped forward. Slowly, carefully, as if approaching something fragile. She looked closely at Elena's face, studying it, and then, her eyes widened. You look like us." Elena let out a shaky breath. A small, hopeful smile touched her lips. "Yes," she whispered. "Because I am part of you." The other girl joined her sister, both now standing just inches away. Why didn't you come before?" one asked, her voice small. The question hit harder than anything else. Elena's eyes filled with tears. "I tried," she said honestly. "I never stopped trying." She glanced briefly at her ex-husband, the unspoken truth hanging between them. The girls followed her gaze, and slowly began to understand that there was more to this story than they had been told. For the first time, doubt flickered in their eyes, and maybe, just maybe, a door that had been closed for 6 years, was beginning to open again. The airport announcements continued in the background, flights arriving and departing, people coming and going. But for Elena, time stood still, because in that moment, standing face to face with her daughters, she realized something powerful. Success, money, fame, none of it mattered. All she ever wanted was right here, and for the first time in 6 years, she wasn't alone anymore. And maybe, just maybe, this wasn't the end of her story. It was the beginning of a second chance.